Story time from Reddit. I heard it, but my dog saw it. I feel like I should say before I start the story that I've always heard that pets can sense and see things that you can't, like ghosts and paranormal things like that. Anyway, I live on a small farmland and have a pond across the road from my house. I have a snow white husky dog, and one night decided to take her with me while frog gigging. As we're walking around the backside of this pond where it fades from hayfields to pine woods, I stop and turn to look at a frog in the pond. As I'm creeping up to Spirit, I hear a whisper from behind me in the woods, which was very close because the stretch of land between the pond and the tree line is only about 10 feet. Very clearly, in a calm but eerie young woman's voice, say, "Hey there!" I quickly turn my head and then my body to see my dog, Kira, staring into the woods where I heard the voice come from with the hair on her back, standing up and growling softly. It started to creep me out, so I started slowly backing up towards the way I came from when I hear light footsteps crunching leaves abruptly turn into heavy footsteps running towards me. Kira started viciously barking and growling while keeping herself away from the tree line. I froze in shock for about 3 seconds while listening to these heavy footsteps sounding as if someone was sprinting directly for me before I spun around and bolted back for my house. My dog stayed back and continued barking into the woods like I've never heard her bark before until she finally realized I'd left and followed after me. When we made it back to my front porch, I stopped to check on my dog and she was trembling vigorously, which only made me feel worse about the situation. I didn't step foot near that pond for almost 2 weeks after it happened, and even now, I still never walk that side of the pond at night alone anymore. It still baffles me that I heard everything so clearly and stared into the area where the voice and footsteps came from, but never once saw with my eyes anyone or anything in the woods.